Bulls Nation, we just received one of the toughest losses I think we'll receive all season. Very, very tough pill to swallow, as in the nearest of moments we could have ended up being 1-2, and now we fall to 0-3. The Golden State Warriors versus the Chicago Bulls, a very entertaining game with a heartbreaking finish. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Warriors. Let's talk about the Bulls in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Golden State Warriors game reaction. This is a tough game to swallow. It's a tough game to analyze, and ultimately when you lose the way that you lose today in a game, it's always going to have a deep feeling of what could have been if we ended up doing things a little bit earlier in the game. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below who was your player of the game for the Chicago Bulls, and do you think we should have won this a little bit earlier in the game? Because to be honest, both teams in this game, granted that the scoreline for this game was 129 to 128. Both teams struggled dramatically in this game, and especially the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors shooting touch was off the entire game. But Bulls being a young team, Bulls being an inexperienced team, and Bulls not understanding the situation they could have been put themselves in, allowed them to come back when we were 8 points, when we were 10 points ahead. Golden State didn't really lead the game, lead the entire game until the last point of the game. The Bulls had this game, the Bulls dominated this game, but we let them come back time and time again, and that is why we lost the way that we did. A fantastic buzzer beater, to be fair. You can't take it away from them, but it is a bad loss. Like, it's not a bad loss in terms of our performance. I thought the Bulls played well today, but it's a bad loss in the fact that we should have won this game, and we should have won it by more, and we should have won it earlier in the game. But it is what it is, man. It is basketball at the end of the day. This is a frustration loss, if anything. You could see it on Zach LaVine's face when the shot went in. You could see it when Satoransky even took a full court shot trying to salvage something. The Bulls players did not like how they lost tonight. They didn't like it, and I don't think the fans are going to like it either. But I'm trying to be a little bit more positive because the Bulls did play a relatively good game today, especially on the offensive end. Defensively, we still have a lot to work on defensively, and that's not going to change today. We gave up 129 points. In the past 3 games, we gave up more than 120 points. We need to work on how our defense is, but Golden State were not a good team tonight. You could tell the struggles that they were going through. Kelly Oubre still failed to hit a single field goal that is not a dunk. Stephen Curry was, in the third quarter, 3 from 12 from the three-point line. And the entire team, really, Andrew Wiggins was probably their best player in terms of efficiency. Of course, Stephen Curry did have 36 points tonight, I believe. And of course, 36 points is a lot of points, but he took so many shots to get there. The Bulls should have really cleared this game in the first half when they were struggling like they were. This is a game that I think the Bulls need to learn from. The Bulls need to implement into their next game and try and get the game further away from them than what it was. It is a very, very, very tough loss to swallow. It just sits in your mind. It's one of those things where I was sitting there, and this video is going to be recorded a little bit later than what I usually do. I was just sitting there looking at the screen, thinking to myself, what just happened? How did this happen? And this is just basketball. Sometimes the better teams do not win the game. I did think the Bulls played better than the Golden State Warriors, but at the end of the day, we did not win the game. And that is something that could be a massive, massive, massive loss, considering we could have been 1-2 and we could have head into a double gamer against the Wizards, and we could have at least given ourselves a chance to have a decent start to the season. But now we're 0-3, and it's almost like it keeps on getting worse for us. And look, it does come down to luck sometimes. A shot like that, you have to get lucky. He was shooting, I think his name is Lee. Lee had a good shooting night the whole time, pretty much. He was shooting the lights out from the floor, but it is tough. Again, we can go into individual performers. Look, the Chicago Bulls had some fantastic individual performers. The starting lineup really stepped up from their last 2 games into this game and brought some good fight in this game. And really, is something that I feel kind of sad to say that we lost this game, considering look at the stats that these guys had. Let's start off with Lauri Markkanen. Had 23 points and 7 rebounds in tonight's game. A fantastic game from Lauri Markkanen. And again, has had consistently good games in our losses. We just need to get those wins, man. We need to get those wins. Again, better improvements. We've seen improvements in the paints, points in the paint. We've seen improvements in our offense, in the moving, in the cuts. Perimeter defense is still a big worry, because if Stephen Curry was on his shooting touch tonight, he would have had well over 50 and the Bulls would have got blown out. But it is what it is. We need to work on the perimeter defense as well. All sides of the defensive side we still need to work on. Just because the Warriors struggled doesn't mean that we were a good defensive side. Wendell Carter had an amazing game tonight. Definitely leaps and bounds better than what he had over the past few games. Had 22 points, 4 assists, and 13 rebounds. And again, I think when it's the small ball that the Warriors were playing, Wendell Carter thrives under small ball situations, and we ended up seeing the best game of Wendell Carter, and we need to continue to see that over the course of the next few games, because I think he's the reason that we got even close to what we were tonight. Fantastic game from Wendell Carter. Coby White had 20 points, 5 assists and 7 rebounds. Good game from Coby White. Wish he could have had this earlier in the game and not really at the third quarter where most of his points were scored. I would have loved to see Coby White have a good start to the game and ride it out until the end. And Zach LaVine, 33 points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. Zach LaVine was phenomenal tonight. Made some good shots, fantastic efficiency. There were some shots that were very questionable, and you're always going to get that with Zach LaVine, those step back shots, those shots off of screens. He is a good shooter, so those shots I can live with. And again, we did have some good contributors off the bench, but I think our starting lineup is the one that I have to talk about the most, because they did a phenomenal job tonight. Fantastic performers. Our bench, we didn't see a lot of our bench. We didn't see any Denzel Valentine. We didn't see any Daniel Gafford. We didn't see any Ryan Arcidiacono. We saw a little bit of Satoransky. We saw a little bit of Chandler Hutchison. Chandler Hutchison had a good game off the bench as well. We saw a little bit of Otto Porter, and we also saw a little bit of Garrett Temple. That was our bench. We played a very small rotation in tonight's game. And in the end, look, I can't put it down to one single thing why we lost. I feel like the main thing I can say is that when we're going on runs, like what other teams do to us, we need to extend those runs to the 15-point runs, to the 20-point runs. We got to the 8-point runs, at times 10-point runs, but then the Warriors come back, and then the Warriors get on their runs. We can't seem to manage our runs very, very well, both offensively when we're doing the runs and defensively when we're trying to stop the runs. And that is ended up costing us the game, because we were leaps and bounds, in my opinion, the better team today. But we lost. We lost the game. And sometimes that's how basketball is. That's how every sport is. But it doesn't mean that I don't feel heartbroken. I actually do feel like I've been robbed of a victory. I feel robbed after today's game. And I'm sure Warriors fans will be stoked with that, knowing they didn't play well and they still got the win. And that's fair play to the Warriors. I'm not out here trying to disrespect them. They know they didn't play their best game, the Golden State Warriors and the fans. They missed Draymond Green heavily. And shooting-wise, they didn't have a terrific shooting night. But sometimes that's how things go, and you win the game with determination, with heart, with grit and grind. And the Warriors did that. They grinded out this win because they were not the better team. Let's go into individual performers. Let's go into the player that I think needs to improve leading into the next game. And unfortunately, I can't give it to any of our starting lineup guys, despite them getting so many minutes. What I have to say, and what I will say, is that Garrett Temple is the person I'm gonna target out here, because he got 6 fouls and he barely played today, and he didn't have a great offensive game. Defensively, we know Garrett Temple is a solid defender, but again, the referees weren't necessarily on his side. I thought the 6th foul that was put against Garrett Temple was not a foul whatsoever. But the referees, they call the calls, and Garrett Temple got 6 fouls in very, very small playing time. And I think that is the person that I have to target out as the one that needs to probably improve for the next game. Limit those fouls, try and get some good, clean defensive stops. And we could have used him down the stretch for some defense. And we missed him tonight because his fouls just weren't The referees weren't on his side today, and he got fouled out as quickly as he entered the game, to be honest. So that is what I have to say about Garrett Temple. Two of his fouls were fouls in the final minutes of quarters, which are smart tactical fouls, but again, it kind of cost him when he got fouled out today. The player of the game has to be Zach LaVine. When you have 33 and 7 rebounds with 3 assists, what scored the final shot for us in that game, could have won us that game. If they missed their buzzer beater, Zach LaVine would have been the best talking point tonight. What a shot. He's had a very good game. We got robbed today. Zach LaVine did not. You could tell he did not like how we lost today. We surely would have had that in the bag. But again, it is what it is. What hurts me the most is that it wasn't even Stephen Curry that took the last shot. That's what hurts a lot more than the loss. It's that Stephen Curry didn't even take the last shot. It was somebody else, and they still managed to get it in. Zach LaVine's my player of the game. I don't really want to go too much into this game. I'm not going to lie to you. Look, maybe you could tell by my demeanor or by the way that I'm talking. This loss, it really does hit you hard, this one, because we should have won. And it's always harder when you know you should have won the game and you lost. So it does hit deeper. It hurts a little bit more. And I am hurting after that game. And I'm sure the Bulls players should be as well. The next, look, we're 0-3. That's our record. A terrible start to the season overall. Even when we should have won, we could have been 1-2. Maybe a little bit of a positive light at the end of the tunnel. But that positive light just gets blocked instantly, and now we're 0-3, and it's coming to a terrible start to the season. We need to pick up a win, man. We need to pick up a win by hook or by crook, like the Warriors did today. By hook or by crook, we need to pick up a win somewhere. So hopefully the Wizards will be that team that we can pick up a win against. The Wizards we've got next, I think we have them twice. So I'm expecting at least one win out of those games. That's what I want. I want to see at least one win out of those 2 games. I would love to beat the Wizards twice, but I know that's not going to always happen. That's not always going to be the case. We need to at least focus on trying to beat the Wizards once and get a win on the board. I would love for us to win, beat them this game, the next game, just to kind of get this loss out of my mind. But I'm looking for at least one win against the Washington Wizards. And if we fail to get one, then 0-5 towards the start of the season. You're basically asking for other teams to come and smash you. So that is it. That is going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'm sorry if I didn't feel energetic or excited as I probably would. If we won this game, I would have been crazy. I would have been going crazy, but we didn't win. So it's just a tough one to swallow, really. I'm going to be thinking about this one for quite some time. Even when we have games against the Bucks and the Mavericks, I'll probably be thinking about what that win against the Warriors could have done for our season. But now, it's in the past now. What's happened has happened. We've lost the game, and it's time to focus on the Wizards. Hopefully, the Bulls can take some positives out of this game. Hopefully, the Bulls can nullify paint shots. Hopefully, the Wizards are not a better, I guess, perimeter side than the Warriors. I mean, Stephen Curry is the best perimeter player of all time. Russell Westbrook's not the best three-point shooter if he's playing. Bradley Beal is someone we need to watch out for. Denny's had a good start to the season. We do have a lot to watch out for the Washington Wizards. Hopefully we can get a win. I just need a win somewhere, man. It's getting desperate now. Desperate times, desperate measures. Let's get a win. Have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.